Welcome to Knights of the Square Tablet, Episode 2. Your host, Strider the Champ here, and I'm joined by the man with the $1,000+ stash, the coach, Soder Dave. What's going on, Mr. Dave?
Hello, how are you, Strata?
And of course, we got the second best voice in Chivalry, Scotty Games.
Hey, what up?
Oh man, guys, we got some good stuff on the agenda tonight for everyone. We're gonna talk some Chivalry. We're gonna talk some Dark and Darker. I think everyone's gonna really enjoy it. You know, we're so blessed to get all the support. We got episode 1 now on to episode 2. So we're really excited to stream here. I know everyone's been having a busy week, gentlemen. I've been in like that time period. I was dying to get new games for ages, and now I have so much to play. I've been in Hogwarts. I've been boxing. What have you guys been up to this week?
I've been struggling to find some. I've been talking about a lot. I've been struggling to find a game I can pour as many hours into, like Chivalry. Kind of. I was thinking about playing some Last Epoch as well, because I used to stream that game when it came out in early access or whatever a while ago, and dude, I've just been grinding Chiv, and I also went on that ski trip, so. But yeah, man, it's been
nice.
tough
Hitting the slopes. Scotty, a gamer and an athlete. Love to see it.
For sure.
I've been playing the playtest for the finals, and it's been okay.
It's only been okay.
It really has been okay. That's it.
All the messages he sent me about this, and okay is the review.
Well, I want someone to play with. But also, I've been playing Company of Heroes 3. Completely unrelated game. RTS and all that. Enjoying it very much. Like it a lot. But, it's pretty good.
Look, you got to have some variety in the diet, right? Like, I'd say 90% of my gaming is medieval at this point. So it's good to sometimes get a switch. I'd be down to get into an FPS sometime when the next good one comes out. When that is, I don't know. Oh, hello to Dave's mom. I believe she's wishing him a good cast right now. So much love to Dave's mom. All right, so on to Chivalry. We touched last cast on the arena gameplays. All right, we talked a little bit about using those modes for ranked, and we got a little bit into the arena experience. And do you guys play much of the 3v3 arena? I'm assuming Scotty, no. Dave, there might be a chance.
Listen, okay. I would, but I can't. I can't. I would, but I can't.
All right.
I was doing some 1v1 arenas, and I was getting, whooped by some guy for a bit. He was just a better duelist than me, and then after that, I just started getting lower level noobs, and I just started trolling him with engineer, and I just my whole goal was just to get him to step into the trap. And it was actually pretty funny content.
It's actually pretty.
That's like what happens with arena. It's like you get maybe someone better or equal skill than you, and then it's just lower level players for another hour.
Yeah.
My experience is so much worse. I never have gotten an equal skilled opponent in arena. It's never happened. That's never
You're just
occurred.
Too good, bro. You're just on another level.
I don't even.
Some of the people in there are really bad.
I don't even mean to be ego about
true.
it. I just have. It's never happened. I don't even know what to say.
Oh my gosh, I've gone in there. I think that the last time I played, I think I won for like 3 hours straight. I think I told you guys I didn't even make a YouTube video on it. But like it got to the point where I was like, I'm not gonna feint or drag or anything. I'm just gonna counter all their strikes until they mess up, and we'll just go that way, or they get disarmed.
Yeah, exactly.
It was ridiculous. But
my friends and I go in there, and we have to like challenge ourselves in unique ways to make it fun. So like we'll have a challenge like we can only kill them with tackles because killing them with fists is too easy. So only tackles allowed.
Oh my god.
Or like I don't know.
It's just
we can
disrespectful.
Only play engineer. Yeah, that's the only way we can have fun because otherwise we're just bullying children.
I understand that. Look, I'm not opposed to stomping some gamers out, but it does get to the ridiculous level sometime in there.
Yeah, it gets like old.
I would be interested in the 3v3 mode. Okay, I think at least then like having 2 other people on in voice, like if it was ranked, like you get some teamwork and stuff going on. It could be a lot of fun. Now, I've probably played the 3v3 mode, I'd say under 5 times total, and that might be like a pretty good estimate. Okay, because this is what I feel like the experience is in the 3v3. Okay, so you log into the arena 3v3. Okay, except you spawn in with only one teammate, so it's 3v2. Okay, then then
Yep.
then your teammate quits because he sees it's 3v2. So then you're fighting 3v1. So either then you have to wait to duel everyone, or you got a super sweaty group who just mobs you every fight. That's one of the first days I played the 3v3 arena. I always found this fun. I saved this clip for ages. I decided not to make a video of it, but I was 3v1 against 3 clan members. I won't mention the clan. And the first round came in, and I whooped them 3v1. And they were really pissed about it. So the rest of the time, they started chucking knives and shit at me 3v1 to win the thing. It was so sad and sweaty. Like, come on, guys. But
Listen, I've played it a few hundred, maybe even over 1,000 times at this point. It doesn't get better. It's just like it's terrible. And the leaving thing, me and my friends, we take bets on who's going to leave
who's going to leave first
on the enemy team. We actually
that's hilarious. Whoever dies first is probably usually the odds-on favorite.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's so sad. It's I don't know, man.
All right, so that's experience 1 is 3v1, 3v2, or whatever it turns into. Okay, experience 2 to me is you log in and you want to actually play the game. All right, and you got people just picking up bones and poop and doing stupid shit, so you can't actually play the 3v3 arena. It's either you do that with them or you kill them and waste your time. But either way, you're not playing the game. All right.
And then you guys forgot about the 1v1v1ers, the people who
yes.
refuse to fight an actual 3v3 match. And
I don't
just
understand.
Want to turn it into a duel server, which makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
And then they get mad at you if you don't do it. Then they call you dishonorable.
They get really angry, or they leave.
Or they leave, yeah.
Or they leave.
Yeah.
I've been vote kicked out by my own team for not honoring that. A few times
no
I played it. I've also had people start team killing me for doing it.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, like, look, I'm here to play. I don't care. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. You could get better 1v1s in the 1v1 mode. But I feel like there's potential there for ranked teams. Like, it could be so fun. The 3 of us went on there, and we were playing against other people who were actually trying, and there's actually 3 of them, which is a lot to ask. And, I mean, I think it would be a blast. And
of course.
The reason I don't ever play the 3v3 anymore is because, like, to get that experience, you have to go through, like, 2 hours of bullshit to get one good game. And it's is it worth my time for this one game?
Yeah, like chat always asks me, like, do you want to do some 3v3s? I'm like, no. Man.
Nope. Nope, I'm good.
It'll take 2 hours.
The main issue that, like, causes all the other issues is not having an equal fight. Because in team objective, when you are better than the opponents, they don't care. Because, like, they can swarm you. You know, like, oh, you're good, he can fight 2 people. He's better, he can fight 3. He's better than that, he can fight 4. And that can keep going on until he dies. But in 3v3, if I'm better than you, I just win. I beat you because you're bad. Done. And I don't like it. It's not fun for me. It's not fun for the noob either. So he ends up leaving. I end up putting a 2-inch barrel to my head, and we call it a day. So
yep.
We need that skill-based matchmaking in the form of ranked.
That's one of the things with this genre of gaming is it's not like Call of Duty where one of the worst players alive can sit in a corner and he can headshot a pro as he comes around and gets super lucky right before he gets turned on. In Chivalry, that's not going to happen. Even if you get the pro or the shot from behind, you're dead.
Any game with a high time to kill, the skill
favors
shows
the better
skill
players.
Disparity.
Yeah.
Like in Call of Duty, if you put up a noob against a pro, he might win like 5% of the time. If you put a noob against a pro in Chivalry, he loses every time, hands down. There's no, like, because even if the pro makes a mistake, he still has a whole health bar left.
He's not going to make 3 or 4 mistakes in a row and let him kill him. Exactly.
Yeah. It's and so it's just really demoralizing for the loser, and they don't want to play. And I get that, but Torn Banners should be like kind of filtering out the pros out of their experience so they can level up and get to that level.
And to me, that's kind of some of the appeal to the game, is that there is that higher time to kill. So the better players, we have the chance to turn those fights and not get killed by, the random. If you guys ever played PUBG, like the guy lying in the grass or the bushes for a half hour, like you don't get killed by him, right? You turn around and kill him in Chivalry. Like he could do it.
It's not better or worse to have a higher time to kill. It's just that's the result. The result is that it makes it to where people that are worse have a much less enjoyable experience if they continuously lose. And there's nothing else to do about that besides give them someone their level to fight against. And that's a very simple thing. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, I mean the thing that's complicated though is the player pool for 33. You'll fight the same person like 8 times in a row. So maybe ranked would increase the player pool because people would want to play it more.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they just have the player base or the ability to even filter those people out. I think ranked would help though, hopefully. But I'm matching with level 10s for
put like double coins on the 3v3 ranked or like a unique cosmetic. Yeah. They'll all shovel in there for like at least a day to check it out. And then once they're actually having some fun, fighting some people their level, they're going to be like, holy crap, like I'm good. I killed this guy. I killed 2 guys. And they'll actually have fun. God forbid.
Yep. I can guarantee 3v3 ranked arena with seasons and like a few cosmetic awards would get the people who are already playing it and hardcore about the game. It would get them in the mode and engaged for that season, or at least half of the season. I mean, most people get to the rank they want to, and then they stop playing. That's I think in every ranked game mode. But as long as you're adjusting the seasons and stuff, I think that'd be a good way of engaging people and keeping people active. Because right now, without an update, it's been you run out of things to do in the game.
You're 100% right. What I would do is I would change the number every season or so. So season 1 would be 3v3. Season 2 could be 4v4. Season 3 could be 5v5. And then we could pull it back and do 3v3 again for season 4. And so people would have something to look forward to. That'd
really also cool. Change metas and stuff around too with different people. 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep the game fresh. I mean, to me that sounds awesome. So that would definitely get me in the arena.
Yeah.
At least just to check it out. Even if you didn't like it, at least you would be there for a day. And that's the goal. Just get these guys in here for a day just to check it out and see what the game has to offer. Because that's, to me, the type of stuff that pulls people back. Maps do too, but the team's too small to afford a new big team objective map every 3 months. So if they can't, time to work on some stuff that's more realistic.
I will say, I was hoping we'd get an announcement of a new update coming to talk about today.
Yeah, that would be nice.
It's like we're getting to the time period where I would have expected something, but it's radio silence. Maybe next episode, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it's not low key maintenance mode, like I'm suspecting. But.
God,
we'll see.
I hope not. I think when the game came out, did they guarantee 2 full years of support? Was that it? Am I getting that wrong?
I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I think what they guaranteed is that they would double the size of the game, which they have accomplished their goal in their eyes.
Is it doubled? The maps doubled?
They say so. They say they doubled the size of the game. And they are extremely proud of that accomplishment. And since then, they have never, to my knowledge, announced like a goal. But they did say that in their roadmap, they're just getting started. They're just getting started, guys. So
I hope so. I really do hope so. And as I've said, I don't expect us to get another slasher game up to Chivalry's quality for a long time. So the more support and keeping people in, the better. I know where I'm kind of thinking is unless there's a Mordhau 2 or a Chivalry 3, there's not going to be a game that equals it. I played a lot of the indie games, and I think
Dark and Darker's playtests have actually drawn people into the melee slasher genre a little bit more. I've noticed, kind of, yeah, not as much as you would expect, but I definitely have some people, coming in. They're like, "Oh, I checked this out like right after the D&D playtests," and
I was on Twitch the other day, and there was a Dark and Darker streamer who decided to stream Chivalry 2, right? Because obviously you can't play Dark and Darker right now. First of all, already had like over 80% of the entire game's viewership on his channel when he was streaming it. And he proceeded to play it, say, this game's shit. They should make an extraction game where I get loot and extract with this game's combat. And then he stopped playing it and never touched it again, by the way. So
man.
that's what Dark and Darker players probably think of Chivalry 2 when they play it.
Oh man. Well, I mean, bringing up Dark and Darker and the genre as a whole, I think is a great segue to our next topic. You know, we've talked about this a little bit off stream, but generally, okay, I haven't been a fan of AAA gaming the last few years. It's mostly just, it's more, I think, about monetizing and selling people things than it is about making a good game. But I was playing Hogwarts Legacy, and like, to me, it just shows exactly what a AAA studio should be able to do with a ton of budget, a ton of workers, graphically, story, the ambiance of it, the gameplay. It just feels extremely crisp and polished, so immersive. This is what I think AAA gaming should be. And it got me in my mind on what would a AAA slasher look like, okay? If someone took the plunge and said, we're going to make a medieval melee slasher from a studio with hundreds of people, millions of dollars of budget. And I'm curious to see what you guys think that would look like, because we haven't seen one. The closest we saw was For Honor, which graphics still to this day amazing, user interface amazing.
Yes.
Everything when you enter it feels so polished and nice to me, except the gameplay I think is terrible.
Cool. So let me say something on that. What would a AAA slasher look like? What would it look like? For Honor. Probably. It would look like that. Obviously, it would not play like that. It would probably just take from Chivalry and stuff like that and just kind of, not copy-paste, but have their own spin on it, probably. But I do believe that you can't really go up from Chivalry's quality of graphics, sound design, music, voice acting. You could probably do a little bit on the character customization and armor. But I actually think that Chivalry 2 has kind of reached the zenith of the actual assets and the quality of them. You could probably have your own custom engine, which would make the actual mechanics of it, like swing manipulation, work a little bit better and be a little bit smoother. Unreal is an amazing engine for it. Every single slasher in history has been on Unreal, besides like the OG source Age of Chivalry. So you could probably make it a little bit better than Unreal, but that's my thoughts on it.
Unreal 5 is the new one that games are just starting to get made on, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming Chivalry's on Unreal 4.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, that would be for them the next step, right?
It wouldn't be that much different.
You don't think it would be... I don't know too much about the game engines. I just know I see on YouTube tech demos and stuff posted, like, this is Unreal Engine 5 and everything looks amazing. But
to give you perspective, Chivalry 1 was on Unreal 3, and Unreal 4, that's looking better. The actual swing manipulation and tracers on the weapons, they don't really perform that much better than the original. So I doubt that Unreal 5 would be that much better than Unreal 4 for actually, like, you know, determining the accuracy of the game's mechanics.
Yeah, I think AAA melee slasher. Well, first of all, like I think melee genre games are kind of risky to make, and I think that, like, you know, with having higher skill cap, like we were just discussing in Arena, just getting bullied by a better player than you or something, it's kind of harsh. So I feel like if they did do it, maybe they find another unique way to maybe turn down the skill cap a little bit without, you know, hurting the game itself, which I don't know if you could do a better job than Shiv has in that regard. But I think that's like the main risk with these types of games, right? They hit high player peak, and then everyone kind of is like, oh shit, I have to work hard for this. So like making something appealing to get that revenue back for such a big production might be tough. But you know, I think a AAA game would definitely have way more progression, maybe even more, you know, microtransactions with gear. You know, gear that you can change.
100%.
parts on your character, which would be super cool. But yeah, I think that or even like based off, the an existing thing. Like I'm always hoping maybe a AAA studio will make a Lord of the Rings style Chivalry 2, and that would
Here we go on the Lord of the Rings shiv. Let's go.
yeah, and
Take my
that would
money.
make it less risky, right? Because then you it like if you're bringing in a fan base already into a AAA game, I think that it would be higher likely chance that it'll succeed. And but I don't know. That's a hard kind of question to answer.
On the skill cap thing, I don't think that Chivalry is inherently more like skill based than, let's say, COD. I just think that because of the high time to kill, you see the actual skill gap much clearer. Because it's very difficult, if you're dueling me, it's very difficult for you to get a cheap kill on me. Very difficult.
Right.
So it's like if one is better than the other, you're gonna be able to tell pretty easily. But in Call of Duty, lucky headshot. Oh, he flicked it.
Yeah, you can always blame. You can always blame. Stuff on other things. Yeah.
But if you were to have 100 1v1s in Call of Duty, then you would see the skill gap. So.
That's one of my big adjustments to modern day gaming is I hate it so much with all the aggressive skill based algorithm matchmaking and stuff. They try to hide the skill gap as much as possible from people, and I think that's why you see so many people posting on the internet about Chivalry, about it's bullshit. People are so good because these gamers have been. Their entire gaming career, they've been lied to by developers who throw them in lobbies specifically designed for them not to get crushed. And now, here you go. Here you go. You got a party of Dave, Strider, and Scotty. Good luck.
Yeah.
On Modern Warfare, algorithmically tries to force you to have a 1.2 KD, and if you go above, it will give you harder opponents, and till you get down to 1.2.
That's why I won't play Call of Duty. I played it when there was none of that bullcrap, and you're gonna tell me now that I gotta have one good game and then I have 3 punishment rounds in a row where I'm just gonna get my face stomped in? Nah. Come on. I'm not playing if you're gonna do that.
I feel schizophrenic when I ask for rank because of that. I want ranked, but I also don't want the base game to be affected by skill-based matchmaking. And that's so much. I don't know.
Well, I think that's the AAA games. They don't actually do skill-based matchmaking. They call it that, so it sounds good, but it's algorithm based, and what it's designed to do is feed you wins and losses. So while it's not 100%, your game is basically predetermined before you actually get in the lobby, which to me, that just, why even play at that point? It's rigged for you to win or to lose. If you get stomped out, to me, and that's to me how you get the best content, because things are random. So I could go into a lobby and there could be 5 other slaughterers on the other team and we have crazy sweaty games, or I could go into a lobby and I could just be stomping people for an hour and a half. It just gives you the full variety of things. In the modern games, in Apex and Call of Duty, it's all basically the same at this point.
It also lets you improve.
Yeah. And that's as I said. That's why I think a lot of people, they struggle with jumping from the traditional AAA games into Chivalry, where they're not hidden anymore from the top end of the game.
Especially if you go on the dual service, it's over.
Yeah, I can imagine going in your first gaming session into one of the sweaty dual servers, and oh my god, what the hell?
Just have an engineer troll you, building barricades.
This guy's just jabbing me nonstop.
That's always been one of the weaknesses of this genre, because it's a new genre and not an established one like an FPS game. There is confusion for the new players on how to improve. The goal of the developers when making Chivalry 2 compared to Chivalry 1 is making it very clear as to how someone killed you. What did you do wrong, and what did they do right? And despite their best efforts, kids just can't get it, because the game is still, at its heart, very complex when it comes to the combat system, and there will always be, aspects and mechanics to it that a noob does not understand.
And to me, that's what's addictive about the game, is every time you die, you're like, oh, he got me with this. Or, oh, I did that wrong.
Yeah. They just want you to understand that because in the first game, for a lot of people, if you look at the negative reviews of the original game, it's not many, but if you do, they all say, exploiters, blah, 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 because they just didn't understand how they were dying. And in this game, there's a lot less of that, because they did a much better job with the combat system, but there still is that. There still are noobs who say these guys are bullshitting. These guys are doing this and that.
Yeah, I
don't
got
understand
called a
that.
cheater a few times.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
we've all been called cheaters. I already know it. So
Yeah.
that shows you that they don't even believe you're playing legitimately. That's how hard you beat them. So
right.
I
that
will say,
shows.
at least Chivalry at least in the team objective lobbies, it got rid of a lot of the bullshittery. I know you still see it a lot in the competitive dueling and stuff, but at least the consolation is in team objective, some of that stuff where they animation break or a lot of the spinning and stuff. If you do that in team objective, you're probably going to get gambled by a noob. So, it's kind of, you don't see it as often. So I think they did a good job with that. And I never liked how in Mordhau, like, I feel like it's not necessarily always, it's like scary to call it a skill gap. Sometimes it's a knowledge gap of how to break the game to cheese mechanics. And I don't really like that.
Yeah, Chivalry is a knowledge-heavy game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I don't mind that too much because obviously, nearly 1,000 hours. But
Yeah.
for the noobs, that's tough.
Yeah, it's a tough comeback, but I would love to see a AAA game or a AAA studio try a game because I feel like a lot of times the games that really take off are things that are new, right? Everyone wants to take the safe bet. They made the same Madden for like 30 years straight, right? And it's never changed. Call of Duty, always the safe thing. Battlefield is so safe that they try to copy Call of Duty, right? No one wants to take a risk. But the games that blow up, the PUBGs, the Fortnites, they took a risk. Let's do something
the
different.
modded games
Yeah.
that are usually modded first or built by indie studios with the balls to make something new. We're seeing that with kind of Dark and Darker a bit right now. They took a risk and it's paying off big time. I'm actually surprised how
Chivalry
popular it is.
originated from a source mod.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I think what sometimes happens then is it's like lightning in a bottle, like something like PUBG came out, it starts the battle royale genre, and now you have AAA Apex, you have AAA Warzone, and I feel like if one of them took the risk on a melee slasher, maybe you catch something big again. Because all you need is to release the right game. People haven't played it. They might really get into it. And if you have the right people on board, you get the Doctor Disrespects, the Summit 1Gs going crazy. I mean, all of a sudden, everyone's bought the game. So,
Right.
I mean...
I agree.
I would love to... Because when I play it, I don't think... Like, there's a lot of people who like medieval shit. Like medieval movies, like they kill it at the box office. So why aren't we making medieval games that are killing it, in sales on the console?
Interesting thing, our genre, especially Chivalry 2, is not one that's not popular. It's just one that doesn't retain players. We already talked about this. Chivalry 2, not an unpopular game. 2 million sales is not a small number. It's just those people don't stay to play. But the game sells perfectly fine. All those people that you mentioned, they do play it. They just play it once, and then they go away.
Now, Dave, do you think if a studio came out, took the mechanics of Chivalry, right, the high skill gap, the melee combat, and they applied it to like some slightly different type of game mode, you'd have a better chance of success there?
No, because it's been done, and unless you have a specific game mode in mind, it's been done. So, for example, Mirage tried to add it to the MOBA formula, of like push the payload, get this done. It was basically like Team Objective, but on a much smaller scale, like 5v5, 6v6, flopped. The only time that the Chivalry genre has been super, super popular is with big open battles. And unfortunately, like, I might be biased, but the most popular games are the competitive ones. Even the battle royales and stuff. Like, the whole point is be number one, be the last one alive, win, beat the other guys.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. It would not only have to be added to a new type of game mode, it would also have to have all the other things that are really good about it.
I mean, For Honor's relatively successful, right? I think we can agree on that,
game.
Right? Relatively, like, I wouldn't say it's the most mainstream game, but it's a successful game.
That's a fighting game.
I always said it, to me it's more Mortal Kombat than Chivalry.
It just is. It totally. It's nothing related to Chivalry at all besides being melee.
How it looks, yeah.
Yeah,
I
besides
feel
how it
like
looks.
they tried something with that directional combat to throw a tad of it in there, but
No.
I
Yeah.
hate it. I don't like
it
fighting
did.
games at all, like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. So to
Anything
me, it
with
felt
lock on,
terrible.
anything with
Yeah,
lock
yeah,
on,
exactly, lock on.
don't even come close. It's not even like in the same ballpark as Chivalry.
No,
Right, right.
I think the lock on in the main mode is what broke me. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I can't
Chivalry
play
is
this game.
more closely related to Call of Duty than it is to For Honor. Genuinely.
Now you think if they put like a For Honor level graphics and stuff, and the characters in like a 5v5 more skill based arena, that would be something when you talk competitive ranked mode. I think a BR
Yes.
could definitely get players.
Mordhau had a battle royale. It flopped.
But Mordhau's
Instantly.
Battle Royale sucked. It flopped for a reason.
Could have sucked.
I played Mordhau. I loved Mordhau. I thought the BR was hard.
I hate battle royale, so I'm biased. But could it work? Yes, it could. There have been melee-based battle royales, but they were also like fighting games, not really like Chivalry. So I don't know if it would be different. I guess the only problem I see with that is that, you know, Chivalry combat specifically, it lends itself to those who are skilled, and your skill negates any type of gear. So it would have to have a combat system that's built around the gear that you find in the battle royale. Because like Chivalry, if I'm an archer, I'm still gonna beat a knight if he runs up to me because I'm just better than him. Even though he has more health, better weapon, more stamina, you know, like overall he just has all the tools there, but it doesn't matter because I can just counter him over and over again.
Got the tools, can't use them.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
I totally agree. I tried that Mordhau battle royale a few times, and it was just like there was almost no point in picking up weapons, depending on who's in the match. Right. It's like you could run around with your fists if you're good enough.
Yeah,
But,
and then you just beat them because you're better. So it would have to be like maybe the combat system would have to really be tuned to gear. You know, like maybe if you have a better weapon, it just does significantly more stamina damage.
The traditional MMO thing, if someone's 5 levels higher than you, that you're basically going to do like 3 damage a shot.
Yeah, I don't see how else you could have it otherwise because it feels underwhelming to me, the idea of a level 100 guy with all triple level gear coming to me and then just like and like counter him 3 times and he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the thing with skill gap though, okay, I mean Chivalry obviously people have had trouble picking up, but there are games out there that are just massively successful because I think they break that formula of being so easy. I mean, obviously the Dark Souls genre, but like for PvP stuff, Dark and Darker, I wouldn't say is an easy game. I'd actually say the majority of the players die every raid. Escape from Tarkov, the same thing. So I think there definitely is an audience for people who like more skill-based gaming. It's just getting the right game or the right audience onto a medieval slasher who are going to enjoy that.
Can it be done? Yeah, I think it can.
Yeah, people love item progression, character progression, like, and that's what like Shiv and these types of games kind of lack, right? Is progression, and like just looking at the success of Dark and Darker, even though a lot of the mechanics aren't even finished, people love the itemization, the skill choices, and that's what's making it super successful. And I think like that's what this genre really needs, is a better sense of progression. And but and in Dark and Darker, you get the problem though is Dark and Darker skill is kind of really reliant on items, so it's kind of like a scale, like Mordhau's BR was, the items didn't really matter that much, but I think in Dark and Darker it's like way on the side. It's like 80%
Dark and Darker
items.
Is all skill.
Yeah.
Sorry, not all. No, sorry, not
all
skill.
gear.
All items and gear. Not totally skillless. Just
Yeah.
And items matter way more.
Right.
And Chivalry 2 is like all skill, literally no gear. There's nothing to get. It's just skill.
I think I know we're not on Dark and Darker yet, but I think when they stop doing just play tests and they start going like seasonal or fully, I think where they're going to wind up losing players is the fact that after 2 weeks, people are going to realize that they have no chance to kill anyone anymore because the people who no-lifed it have inventories full of purple gear and all the money they can possibly ever spend, and they're just going to go around one-shotting everyone.
Well, what I noticed is that this like stash is actually really small, and I think that's done on purpose because I couldn't even fit like more than 3 sets of gear in my stash, and I was like, this is so annoying. They should totally increase this. But then I thought, wait, I'm actually like completely stomping kids. Maybe this is like a filter for me to not be able to stop the kids too much.
No, totally.
I thought, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think they definitely made the stash size intentionally smaller than I think it's going to be to see how people manage their inventories. And I totally agree. I kind of like that smaller size for D&D because it makes you spend. But then it's also like I can't really accumulate wealth, and then you can't like save a sick item for another character. Well, you can, but it's like
I think they should let you accumulate wealth easier, but maybe not have more room for items. So like let me store like maybe let me store my money separately.
Yeah, like gold storing just a bunch of gold sacks.
Let me just like store literally infinite gold. Right? Yeah, it's a little bit weird.
No. Yeah. All right, go, Scotty. Sorry.
Oh no, that's the end of my thought there. But yeah, another thing that I always stop playing the D&D playtests like 4 or 5 days in because I'll get my legendary gear, I'll get all my purples, and then I got 2-shot by a mage. I was playing with Reap and another guy named Ark, I think, and it's just like double chain lightning. And we all died, and then we lost everything. So, like, then I was like, okay, whatever.
The wizard that has no regard for his own life, it just chain lightnings you right in front of himself.
Yeah, we literally spawned in front of him, too. And he was just across the way, and he just chain lightninged us. And we're like, okay, sweet. We didn't have an archer. But yeah, maybe that's a skill issue thing for me, but it's just like... that's the game is losing that gear, but I just think that there's a lot of balancing that needs to happen with D&D. But
there's so many things.
Yeah.
What Strata said is right. Skill-based game, everyone loves it. They actually enjoy playing a game that's hard, something that challenges them. I wish Ford Banner would, take some notes. Be like, hey, maybe this casual thing isn't working out. Look at the player count on that game. And then...
well, do you guys think that D&D should have Shiv combat or not?
Yes, to me, 100%. Yeah, I would.
Okay,
Strata go first.
Says yes, so he could win.
Daddy? Yeah.
Upstairs,
all right.
bud. Close the door. Oh, we broke the no invasions rule.
I agree with Solder Dave. I don't think it should. I think there should be a little bit more to it. Like I like the longsword in Dark and Darker because you can do riposte and stuff at least.
Yeah.
But I think that like they would really alienate like a ton of their player base or like more the casual.
Let's hear it, Strata. Let's hear what you want to say.
So all right. So I don't expect Chivalry's level of complexity, but I would love if Blade started like crossing and you could actually parry and counter a bit, and there was a bit more of a skill gap than there currently is. I mean, that also then just adds the outplay potential of those situations again where the purple barb comes in and one-shots everyone. Well, now you can actually block his hits. All right, so maybe I can hit him 7 or 8 times and I block everything. I'm able to kill him. Just maybe this might not be the casual perspective, but to me, I would enjoy it much more if I felt like my skill in combat had more of an impact on the fights.
So I agree with you. I wish it was like just a little more skill based. I don't want it to be as skill based as Chivalry because I feel like that takes away from the gear. It needs to be to where the gear matters the most. At the moment, it matters literally like 99% of the game is the gear that you're using, and the skill ceiling is very low. But I would like it to be just a little bit higher, like you said. So there's a little bit of like, oh, he's using a lot better gear than me, but I have a chance if I'm so much better than him.
No,
Um,
I agree. Yeah.
so
I,
that's my
yeah.
thoughts on it. But I
No,
don't want it to be as complex as Chivalry. I don't
I,
want it to
I
be as
agree
skillful
on
as
not
Chivalry.
being that complex, but I also I think something a little bit more like how Renown's combat is, where maybe there's timing based blocks, and even if you only have 3 directions of attacks, and like just something to up it a little bit and make it feel like you're actually in a sword fight, to me would go a long way to making the game feel a lot better. Because I mean, we might as well just stick with Dark and Darker and go through our topics now. um, but
Yeah.
to me, that would keep me playing the game a lot longer. I know usually, especially this last playtest, which I enjoyed quite a bit, but I think because I was grinding to try to make content and play the game more than I normally would have, I burned out a little bit by the end. I was like, I can't do anymore. I'm done.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, I think not getting one shot by the chain lightning and stuff would have kept me in a little bit longer, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I would say that like positioning is just so big in that game. I mean, you can kill more skilled players pretty easily, or sorry, more geared players more easily with just your positioning too, in knowledge of the map, which is nice. Um, but yeah, for some reason I can't put my number on it. I just get so burnt out by those 4 days, and I
Mhm.
do grind the game a lot during the playtest, but like by the end, I'm not even playing the playtest. I'm back in Shiv or like playing something else. But
It was a crack to me. I don't know. You guys are talking about.
yeah,
I feel like Dave.
it's like
Dave
crack
gets,
to a
yeah.
lot of people.
Dave
I couldn't get
also
off.
he also went in crack mode on Sonic Frontier. This is a like
Yes, I did.
he'll get addicted to anything he plays.
That's
But
not true. I don't think the finals is crack.
oh man, you were selling it to me, so now I know he was lying in DMs. But
Sauter, how far did you get in the D&D? Did you like kill any bosses, or like did you
Yeah.
have a group? Did you play solo, or
No.
how'd you play? Okay, cool.
I
Yeah,
did not play solo. But yes, we got very far, killed the bosses a few times. My goal next playtest is to hopefully get pretty high on the leaderboard for why is he shaking his head?
oh, because I'm like that's just unattainable for I think me
No,
and Scotty who can't
for,
pump 12 hours a
for
day.
killing the
Impossible.
boss on High Roller. That's the leaderboard
Oh,
I want
nice.
to go.
Yeah, yeah.
Just for High Roller boss kills, because like the High Roller bosses had like different moves and stuff, and that was.
Did you
really
do a lot of
interesting.
high roll? I came across so many cheaters in high roller, like by the third day. So that's
Yeah,
another thing
there
that
is
turned
a
me
lot of
off.
cheating. There is a lot of cheating, and I don't know if I personally came across it because like it's mostly the rogues who are victim because they're running around invisible, and then the cheater just walks up to him and smacks him.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. I
like-
think that's what also really turned me off. We had a barbarian just hitting us from across the room with a horseman's axe. I have it. I have a clip of it. It's like so obvious.
You're right. The cheating is prevalent. It's a problem. I didn't come across them often. It's mostly the rogues who are victims to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. All right. Now, so we seem to be going darker, darker. So let's just topic ourselves a little bit here. So obviously, we've all been playing Dark and Darker, and over 100K concurrent, I believe it had on Steam. It might have even been
Yes.
more than that. So
Was.
you know, we've given some like negative feedback, not negative, but I guess feedback on what's not working with the game. But obviously, this thing's blowing up, right?
Yes.
Like. And it's interesting because it's not a AAA game, right? Apparently, this is what I love about the devs. They were in a AAA studio. They say, we hate everything about AAA gaming. We're going to make our own game. Fuck these guys. Like, we don't want monetization. We don't want any predatory practices. We just want to make a good game. And obviously, there is something about the game that is addictive. All right? The graphics are okay. You know, the combat, we said, not that good. But everyone's playing it.
I think it's a few things. It's obviously the Tarkov style is super popular, right? So number
Addictive.
one is it's super addictive, itemization, all this stuff, character progression, like we talked about. But it's also, I think it does very well, which I loved, was the group play really puts you in like a Dungeons and Dragons feeling scenario over and over again, right? It's like you spawn in a dungeon, you have your cleric, everyone has their roles, and it feels like you're playing like a Dungeons and Dragons
Yes.
scenario,
That
right?
to
And I
me
think,
was what I loved.
yeah, and I think it's so fun to watch as well, right? Like, all the bigger streamers, their personalities really came out when they were playing it, and I think that's also adding to it. It's very, very watchable, and you know, stuff like Shiv is not as watchable, I would say, because there's not, you know, as funny moments. There's you know, your personality has a big chance to come out when you're playing Dark and Darker. So I think
Yes. Also, it's free.
it's free. Yeah.
That's
Well,
a
right
big
right
thing.
now.
Chivalry
Yeah.
free to play. Let's go.
Yes, like it is free, that is a huge thing for it getting over 100,000 concurrent. When it's you know, for sale, I doubt it'll break 100,000 concurrent. Like, I think it could. I really do.
I
if
think
they
when it
drop it for,
releases,
like-
it will 100%.
If
And
they drop
After
it for, like,
that, yeah.
Yeah,
Reed made
I-
a good point. The VoIP was incredible as well, with
Yeah,
the
it was-
role play potentials off the charts with the game.
Yes.
So
Also the band
and
potential.
it sounded better than New World's VoIP by 1,000,000%. It even had echoes and where you are, like,
Again, because
it
they
was,
actually
like,
care about
flawless.
the game.
Yeah, yeah. I
The-
think
the funny thing is-
aren't oh, sorry, go on.
they're able to implement stuff like that such a short time.
Right?
Yes, yeah.
It's crazy. I think they said from like conception to like publishing, the Goblin Caves took them like only a couple or 3 weeks.
That's insane. That's insane. I think in gaming we call like PUBG, Escape from Tarkov. They're made on spaghetti code. Like the devs do one thing, it breaks the entire game. Like
Yes.
this thing has to be immaculately coded for them
Oh,
to
yeah.
be able to add stuff this
It looks
easily,
like
this
it.
quickly.
Yeah, and they were taking care of server issues and stuff right away, like very, very professional. And I think that's only adding to its success because, you know, being able to handle that many players with very little issues.
There's a few hiccups.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely some
Performance and a few other things, but
I mean, that's
think they'll
every
handle that.
game though. Right? Like when's the
I
last
think-
AAA game that released with good servers? Like
True.
Scotty
No,
just
I meant
mentioned
like
New
the-
World.
I
That
meant
thing
like
was a
the
FPS.
disaster
Yeah.
at release.
I meant like the FPS.
Yeah. No,
Like-
gosh.
like
You had
it's not
FPS
perfect.
issues. I didn't really. I had
I
maybe
did.
a few, but
yeah,
pretty
I
much-
didn't.
I
The
did. I
only
had-
thing I had was getting booted out of the server every now and then.
I had crashes as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely had a few crashes.
The only thing I remember last playtest, I remember when Scotty were playing and the lobbies wouldn't fill for the entire time, so you have to wait like the 3-minute downtime.
Yeah. Well, that was on West, but we switched to East or whatever. I think it was East that was having issues, and then West was fine. But yeah, there was a few times, but nothing that you wouldn't expect in a well-made like beta, of a
Yeah,
game.
but it's still my crack. I'm still gonna play it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I like that they do the playtests because I think what happens sometimes with these games is if someone just releases them, people go absolutely insane on them for a few weeks, a month straight, don't play anything else, don't do anything else, and this is the whole kill it before it gets old. Playtest comes, you play for a weekend, you don't get to touch the game again for a month, so by the time the next playtest, or even more than a month,
That's why it's also
Yeah.
like crack.
I
to
understand
people.
that.
next
And I
playtest
agree
is there,
with
you're
you.
like, I'm ready. It's
I
go
agree
time.
with you, and I think that was incredibly intelligent of them. My only question is, why no pre-order?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no answers for them. I think when the game first started getting traction, because I think, Dave, you and I think played their second playtest, was the first one we played, I
Yeah.
believe. And the game didn't, I think, start getting the popularity till the third one, if I'm correct.
was-
And
it
then
was the
this
third and the
fourth one
fourth.
was huge. I don't think they ever expected to have anywhere close to the people they have playing it. I think
True.
they were expecting like 100 to 200 concurrent for the playtest. So I think
Yeah.
was, I think the game has blown up beyond what they could have ever imagined. So
So you
maybe
think
that's
they were
why
trying
there's
to-
none of that stuff. Like I think they were just like, hey, we're making the game, we'll see what happens.
the
And it's like,
lucky
oh
number?
shit, we got 100K concurrent. I
What's
think
the
I
lucky
heard the
number?
game will cost either 29 or
I think
39.
I think it's going to be $20 or something. But then their shop, they keep adding stuff. So I think either there's going to be microtransactions maybe for skins,
If
But,
I was them, $70.
$70 for a skin.
70
But,
for a skin, jeez.
But yeah, I also like their idea with skins where it gives you like a buff in a something to detract from your, like the elf skin was +1 agility, -1 strength, and I think that the races and stuff is a really cool idea. By making that things that you kind of earn, and it allows you to customize your character further. Like I was playing an elf barb for the extra agility. Really cool, man. And yeah, I think it has a lot of potential. I just think that, you know, the thing is the longevity of D&D. I feel like I blow through it, but you know,
longevity concerns me too.
I don't know why it's a problem for me as much.
I think it's probably going to be fine because they have like the Tarkov system where they can wipe it.
Yeah,
and that's when people feel the need to come back.
Yep. I think 100%. I think me and Scotty burned out in the exact same day together. I think we're in High Roller and we got killed by a cheater. Me, him, and Reap it. And we're like, oh man. I'm like, all right.
Like, all right. But maybe if they fix those issues, maybe I'll play it for the whole thing.
I think you won't know long term how the balance is until they do a longer play test.
Right.
I can definitely look. You can see the problems starting of like the gear gap, which, as I said, I have the feeling the majority of the players who play it survive maybe 10% of their raids. Just if you look at the kill feed while you're playing.
They released some stats. I think it said like over 60% of players actually escape.
Each dungeon?
Some number like that. Yeah, I think so.
My mind.
I would like to see that. I would like.
I don't think. I think
that sounds accurate. Yeah.
They released literally dozens of stats, and I would go on their Discord and check it out because if I read it correctly, I think it said like the majority of players escape every round.
Wow, I'm so surprised by that because if you look at my kill feed while we're playing, you got people dying to skeletons, mimics. This guy fell to his death. Like me and Scotty are running around the whole map trying to find people. We can't find no one. Where are they? Where are these gamers?
I would like to see that over the course of their playtest because in the other ones, it was a little bit harder to escape, and in this last one, I felt like it was a little bit easier because there would be escape portals that spawn super early. It's like a single escape a lot too. So if you're playing solo, you can get a few things, get out.
I survived at a very high rate.
But I believe that stat. But yeah, I also agree with Strida. It's kind of hard to believe sometimes when you see.
We couldn't find anyone.
I don't believe it either.
The first playtest we played is the one I enjoyed the most because the map was so much smaller, and obviously you guys know I'm like I want to be in action the whole time. So like we could run around and just fight.
I did like it when maybe the first playtest I played was probably the second one that they released, and I think that it was just like more packed. It was you always got to fight immediately.
You always got to fight. Like you spawn in.
Yeah, I thought that this last playtest was actually probably the best in terms of like density of players and I thought it was like more balanced. Like you don't just get killed right away sometimes, but I don't know. You know, it's hard.
I like it how it is now.
Yeah,
I liked it. I didn't mind it.
Yeah. Speaking of playtests, we're gonna have another one coming up in a few weeks here, and it could be pretty game altering. All right, I think we're getting.
They're gonna add another basement, the B1. So we've been playing on the second level this whole time, right? So we're gonna get B1. We're gonna get the Bard class, I believe. We might get the skill trees, I believe, as well. So
wow, so skill trees too.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that.
I mean, it's going to completely alter the game, so I think I'm going to be pleasantly surprised by it again. It's probably going to be a lot more fun, more customization, more maybe more spells, more shiz.
To killing bosses.
I'm so excited for the level 1. That to me, that's a big selling point.
I think it's going to be like more of an open area with more people, right? So as you progress, there's less and less people, and you're fighting players with better gear
what I would like?
better.
I would like it to be like much more chill, like weak monsters, a lot more players.
I think
here. Everyone's talking on VoIP, just chilling. I was so happy for VoIP because I planned on like whenever I wanted to go for the boss, I would be like telling people in VoIP like, "Hey, leave me alone. Going for the boss."
Yeah.
Speechcraft, Dave with the tongue. Speechcraft level 100.
And I think that'd be cool.
I'm so excited for it. I just want to see like some different visuals. Like in my head, I don't know if it'll match this, but I just feel like us starting in a jungle. right? Like outside, like the temple or the ruins or whatever. It's like maybe dusk time. It's not quite night, and as you get closer to the dungeons, I feel like it gets darker. And I feel like there shouldn't even be escape portals. It should be dungeon entrances. Maybe there's like one on each side of the dungeon.
But I feel like you might be able to like camp the dungeon entrance.
I mean, that's
get
what
there
I would be
first, and-
doing. That's what I'd be doing. So
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see. Well, they had that cave exit in the single player
in the troll caves,
version this
yeah.
time. So maybe they're thinking about that. That would be cool.
Oh, they'll probably have portals and then also have a cave entrance.
Yeah.
I just feel like portals, they don't make sense because how are you portaling in, right? I'm just gonna walk in
They're
the front
for
door.
gameplay. You know what I do want them to do? I want them to make it to where if you are the only squad left, portals spawn right on top of you.
I think that should happen.
There is no enjoyable gameplay in trying to find the portal after everyone's dead, and then not finding it and dying. And
I went down.
That's not fun gameplay.
I
I'm
went
not
down
sure
in the
if I agree
goblin
with that
caves,
though,
yeah.
because you got to keep that in the back of your mind, and you can't just because then you would be able to just hunt and kill the entire lobby and then escape every time. So I don't know if I agree with that, but it could be cool.
I was I didn't like in
mean,
the goblin caves. I would be the last one left in the lobby in the last circle. I had killed whoever I killed. I'm the only survivor there, and no portal spawns for me. So I just got to take the zone.
yeah.
To me, that's a
would at
little
least-
demoralizing.
I would at least like maybe something besides just the noise, because I'll be like killing people, and then the portal noise must have happened in the background, and then they're dead, and then I'm trying to look for a portal, and I'm being dumb, I can't find it, or this and that and the third, and then boom, dead. And it's just so unfortunate. There's nothing more demoralizing than winning the team fight and then dying to the zone. So I don't think
No,
that.
I
you know,
agree.
I don't
I
like it.
agree. I feel like too, like if you went through killing everyone, you should get the reward of survival, right? Like
Exactly.
you've proven to be the superior gamer in the lobby.
Yeah, exactly. There's no more.
You get
threat.
an out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced, but yeah, because there's just like so many times where you're watching someone with high level gear just running through an entire lobby, and then for them to be able to every time not have to think about a portal position. I don't know. Also, I think that the mini map didn't show the portals in the correct position sometimes. There's like some stuff wrong there, so maybe if they just made it more apparent where they spawned or something like that might help
too.
that. But
If I knew where it spawned, I wouldn't care if it didn't spawn on top of me.
yeah.
That's true. I will say I'm surprised. I haven't seen as much of the Chivalry players move over there as I would have expected. Like to me, that it would have been like right. Anyone who plays Chivalry, this would be the game like right up your alley. I feel like
The combat's worse, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So-
the combat is worse. For me, it's all about the combat system. I don't really get addicted to like itemizations and getting gold and I think that's a big reason why I'm like, it's okay. It's a great game, but I am I gonna grind it as much as Shiv or other melee slashers? Not sure yet, but maybe.
I can get very into killing people and taking their stuff, but
yeah. It does feel good though. I'll tell you that getting kills in that game does feel much better than in Shiv for sure.
For me though,
but
there's got to be a line drawn though, where like there's enough of a skill gap. The players who can play these type of games can do well without getting like just gatekeeped out by the people who play 15 hours a day. Because like Dave mentioned leaderboards, I just laugh at that because I can play maybe 2 hours a day when the play tests are over, so there's zero shot of ever getting on any
you don't get anything
leaderboard.
for the leaderboards.
What's that?
You don't get anything for being on the leaderboards.
No, you don't get anything, but you
It's
get
just
your
clout.
name there, which by the people I've seen doing 24-hour streams from when it comes out, people obviously are getting like there's always going to be those ones. The name on the leaderboard, the clout.
Well, you can't. Another thing too that sucks about the leaderboard is that like right now there's just so many cheaters that it's
that's the real complaint.
you can't even. It's just don't even look at the leaderboards.
That complaint's a lot more valid than Stride is.
Yeah,
It does suck to be like outperformed by a guy who's dedicating 48 hours a day, but
but yeah,
It's
you know,
the unfortunate reality.
Just unattainable.
yeah, leaderboards just don't even
something
matter.
like rank mode
yeah,
in Chivalry would have nothing to do with playtime. It would just have to do with win
Right.
rate. Add rank.
Right.
Yeah, no, exactly. To me, that's a much fairer system. Even something like League of Legends with Elo and stuff. The person who grinds all day, everyday games, he can still be in bronze, right? Like, and then you who
Yeah,
plays 3 games a day can rank yourself up if you're winning those games. So.
Yes. And, like all they need is just like a very minor, very generous like decay on rank, and that forces you to play like I don't know once a week, once every 2 weeks, kind of like Overwatch or any other game with a ranked system, and that'd be all. And also that would only affect people with a very high skill rating.
Reap has a good point here. Leaderboards is one thing, but I'd like a stats page, like Chivalry 2 profile in Dark and Darker. That would be
That'd cool
interesting.
too.
Sorry, did I interrupt you, Sauter?
No, I think we're
Okay.
going over time.
Yeah, we're perfectly at 8:00, so I think we're gonna cut off the official episode here. I think we'll be back in 2 weeks. I know I have some topics in my head planned. There's been a few medieval games and stuff that have released recently that we can talk about. I mean, I feel like the topics on Chivalry are virtually endless in my mind right now. But let's pray for that tweet coming out from Torn Banner with some new content that we could really dive into and talk about. But
another one
then,
too is PAX Day. PAX Day, you should check out.
Oh my God, I saw the YouTube trailer. It looks so good.
Yeah,
it looks so good.
It looks like it's got potential. But
I definitely think that's something we can talk about.
Come on now, guys.
Yeah, I want to talk about the MMO games maybe next stream a little bit. Gloria Victis just came out. Mortal Online 2 was out for a while. Games that on paper they should be my game, right? And
right.
PAX
but
Day
always in practice.
Yeah, PAX Day looks like it could be something on paper too. So we'll see what it comes looking out. But yeah, we're gonna open the floor here if anyone's got some questions for us and start talking in their chats for a little bit before I know I'm gonna hop into some Shiv lobbies in a little bit, start whooping some people.
Same.